Hello folks! Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how excited I am to show you all this place. Well, first of all, let me introduce you to the Gateway Arch. We are in our, I believe, 12th state. This is Missouri, the Show Me State. Now, I don't know what the people of Missouri want to be shown, but that is their nickname, the Show Me State. Now, here in Missouri, I wanted to go to someplace that really embodies the edge, the frontier of the Midwest. And that's why our first stop here in Missouri, well, our only stop on this trip, but our first destination in Missouri, St. Louis. I'll actually be posting a separate video from the journeys I have later today in the actual city, but for right now, did you know that the Gateway Arch, the iconic symbol of St. Louis, is a national park itself? So, here we are at our 4th national park here in the United States. Now, it is kind of weird how this monument is a national park. It makes sense on an ideological scale. It's a huge structure commemorating St. Louis's role in the westward expansion of the United States. But at the same time, a whole national park dedicated to this place? Yes, there's actually a huge garden stretching to the left and right of the arch itself. Oh my goodness, let's get a good view for you all. It is gigantic. As you can see, this is the grand walkway. I don't know whether it's the left or the right of the arch itself, but you can see it is much larger than you'd expect in the pictures. This Gateway Arch, it's such an iconic landmark in the United States, on par with things like the Statue of Liberty, Mount Rushmore, the Golden Gate Bridge, the White House. I don't know what that motorcycle was, but anyway, this is one of those famous, iconic landmarks of the United States. And so it's an exciting day here at the Coverage Project that we get to come here to St. Louis, not only to look at this grand monument, but actually we'll get a chance to go inside the monument. I am so glad that it's a sunny day. If it was raining, I think it would take away a little bit of the adventure and the charm that this national park has. This is the Mississippi River. Maybe it's not the best view of it, but this, if the United States had one major river that was probably more influential than any other in the United States history, this is the river. This river flows from literally everywhere in the central part of the country down through the center part of the country in this curvy line down into the Louisiana shore, where it flows into the Gulf of Mexico. And of course, nothing more iconic than a riverboat on the Mississippi. Riverboats, Mississippi River, they pretty much go hand in hand. Oh my goodness, I almost got stuck in the clay down here. Well, we're safe now, although it's still pretty muddy. Shouldn't have gone this way. Oh boy, this is gonna be a disaster walking through that. All right, we made it past. But anyway, this river, the Mississippi, is so important to the United States' development as this superpower of a country. Early in its history, this river had countless tributaries that flowed the water from all around the country down into one central location. And because of that, the US was able to utilize this seemingly grid-like series of rivers flowing into the main Mississippi River for trade. Even more so, control of the Mississippi was critical in the decisive victory of the Union over the South. Because when you control the rivers, you can control the trade, and more so you can control who gets in and out through the river. Because of just the enormous size of this river, that dictated the borders of many states in the center of the country. If you look on a map of the United States, you will find that most states will not have their territory on both sides of the river. It will either be on one side or the other. And because of that, cultural identities developed. The states on that side of the river are a lot smaller, were developed first. But the states on this side of the river are larger and were developed later. One could say that the Mississippi River is essentially the dividing point of the United States in half. On that side of the river is one half, and on the other side of the river is another half of the United States, east and west. In the mid-20th century, some ambitious Americans decided, let's build a monument which commemorates this cultural distinction, how this city, St. Louis, acts as the gateway to the West. Hence, you get the name Gateway Arch. I cannot understate how large this monument is. Like, this is the bottom, and it's already huge. I think it's time we head into the arch. Hi. So it turns out that I gotta wait over an hour just to board. I should have just bought the tickets before I even started filming. That way I would have used time a bit more productively. But that's alright. I'll just start the other video while I'm waiting and then come back. So I will see you then when we board the tram up to the top of the Gateway Arch. It is now time for us to hop on board the tram to the top of this great Gateway Arch. I will see you after we board. All right, we are back. It's nice that they have a giant map of the US all laid out for us. St. Louis right there. The great thing about St. Louis is that it is located at the confluence of the Mississippi River and the Missouri River. But yeah, let's get to the arch now. Obviously, a whole museum and gift shop awaits. Wow, that was incredible. So as you saw, they took us up through this Ferris wheel ride, but it was a combination of a Ferris wheel, escalator, and elevator as you went up through the interior of the arch. And you got to see the views of both East St. Louis and regular St. Louis in Missouri. As I mentioned before, the Gateway Arch is the perfect landmark to commemorate the westward expansion of the US. From this point here in St. Louis, people coming from the east of the United States came here to stock up on supplies and then head westward. And these journeys didn't just follow one path. There were many trails the most famous one of all, the Oregon Trail. There was the Mormon Trail for the Mormons coming from the Midwest to Utah. There was the Santa Fe Trail going from here down to New Mexico, Santa Fe. One could visualize the shape of the arch to act as some sort of portal to the western United States. After entering through here from the Mississippi River, pioneers would then encounter the more western, drier states. Depending on their route, one could reach the deserts of the Southwest, one could reach the mountains in Colorado, in Wyoming, and Utah. Regardless of the journey, one would most likely stop here in St. Louis before they ventured westward. Gateway Arch National Park is a peculiar national park. It's very small and it's squished between the Mississippi River and the rest of St. Louis, the city. Therefore, it's not one of those national parks that stretches miles and miles. In fact, I believe it's less than a square mile. So one can go through the entire park in less than a day. With that being said though, I think that concludes our adventure here in our 4th national park on the Coverage Project. Thus ends our adventure here. But today I will be continuing my journey through the rest of St. Louis, so another video is sure to be uploaded. So, standing in front of the beautiful, remarkable Gateway Arch here at Gateway Arch National Park. More travels to come. I will see you at the next location.